I call this meeting of Sylvania City Council for September 5th, 2023 to order. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Fry?
Here.
Mr. Hanson?
Here.
Mr. Hanem?
Here.
Mr. McCann?
Here.
Mr. Richardson?
Here.
Ms. Dow?
Here.
Mrs. Westfall?
Here.
All 7 members of City Council are present, therefore a quorum does exist. We welcome Mr. Haddad to join us in our Pledge of Allegiance, this meeting led by Mr. Hayden.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Additions to the agenda, the clerk has distributed a new ordinance 74, 2023 with a note on it to replace the one that came out.
I don't have that.
But Mark, Doug, and Mary, I put it in your packets today.
Thank you.
So all
Okay,
three
so
of
they're
you
already-
have, yes. so-
Amazing.
Thank
So
you.
you have it.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you, Mayor. Sorry.
Thank you. I have no additions to the agenda. Mr. Fry?
Mr. Mayor, I would like to try to schedule a finance committee meeting for budget conversations. We typically do that in October, but I'd like to schedule it
Let's
sooner
make
rather
that
than
agenda
later.
item 9A, schedule Finance Committee. Other members of City Council, additions to the agenda? Mr. Sanford,
Nothing, Mr. Mayor.
Captain Eubaker,
Nothing, Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Schroyer,
Nothing, Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Aller,
Nothing, Mr. Mayor.
or Ms. Brining.
Nothing, Mr. Mayor.
All right, we've added agenda item 9A. Is there a motion to approve the agenda as amended?
So moved. Second.
Been moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries and our agenda for this evening's meeting is approved. Agenda item 5 is proposed ordinance 74, 2023. This is ordered legislation.
Oh, Mayor, in the meeting minutes.
Minutes. Oh, the meeting minutes. I'm sorry, I checked that right off. Mr. Fry.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to move approval of the meeting minutes for the council meeting of August 21st, 2023 as submitted. Second.
Moved and seconded to approve the meeting minutes of August 21st, 2023 is submitted. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries and those meeting minutes are approved. Now on to agenda item 5. Proposed ordinance 74, 2023 is ordered legislation from our last meeting. This is to hire the Smith Group to update a portion of the City of Sylvania's zoning code. Mr. Hanem.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move adoption of ordinance number 74-2003. All members of council have received copies. I'll read by title only. Authorizing the mayor and director of finance to accept the proposal of Smith Group to update the City of Sylvania zoning code, appropriating funds therefore in amount not to exceed $49,786. And, Mr. Mayor, I move adoption of ordinance number 74-2003 as an emergency measure.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to enact ordinance number 74, 2023 as an emergency measure. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries and ordinance 74, 2023 is enacted as an emergency measure. Agenda item 6 is proposed ordinance 75, 2023. This is to authorize the mayor and director of finance into an agreement with the city of Toledo concerning police academy training. Captain Eubaker, are you prepared to speak on this?
I am, Mayor. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This ordinance deals with some about 35 sets of riot gear that the department purchased in 2018. We spent some city money, and it's my understanding we spent some grant money also. The equipment is brand new, we've never used it. We don't have the training nor the manpower to be able to use said equipment, it's just taking up space. Toledo approached us, they need the equipment. So we would like to enter into agreement with Toledo to give them the equipment and in exchange, they give us 2 police academy slots in an upcoming police academy for no cost.
Is there any idea what a slot in their police academy is worth?
If, I don't know their particular academy, in Owens Academy, it's about $7,500.
Okay. So the equipment may be worth more than $7,000.
I think we've got, as a city, we've got about 12,000 into the equipment, so we would come out on a good end if we used both academies slots.
Okay. And this leaves the city without riot gear. We don't have a riot group, we don't have riot training.
Sure.
As part of this agreement, the city of Toledo will do mutual aid for us if we do need that.
That is correct. They would be the agency, either Toledo or the Ohio State Highway Patrol. They both maintain well-trained groups of police officers that are more than capable of handling any kind of riot situation.
And this does not affect our special response team in any way.
It does not.
We still will have that special response team available to us.
Yes, sir.
I remember about 2 years ago during the Black Lives Matter's March in Sylvania that a team was brought in, I believe, from Maumee. They were staging down at the maintenance facility. I walked in there and was challenged until somebody recognized me. And they were prepared. I don't know whether that was their special response team or a riot team. And I've never gotten that answer. I didn't want to mess with them.
Yeah, that was the special response team, and
That's
we
what I
didn't
thought.
know how things were gonna go, so we
Yep.
wanted to have a little.
They were nearby. Chief Snore kept them undercover in case we needed them. He was being very conservative, and we didn't. Chief Snore was out front, not in uniform. I was walking around and riding my bike. Everything stayed calm. The only person that bumped me that night was Councilman Capolini. In her excitement to keep up with the group, she almost knocked me down and didn't know who I was. I didn't.
And
Just
we're
didn't.
thankful that everything went well. So, yeah, this equipment is still in the package. We've never, most of it is still in the package. We've never utilized it.
Captain Hubaker, do you know at the time, even if it was purchased with a grant, was there an intent to seek training and be able to use the equipment, or any idea there?
So I really don't, Mr. Hanson. This was 3 chiefs ago that had purchased this equipment. It was an end-of-the-year purchase, so I'm not sure what the intent was. To have an effective riot control team, you need between 12 and 24 officers to be effective at any kind of decent size protest. And, we've got 34 odd. That would be 2/3 of our department. We'd have to put riot gear, and then we wouldn't have anybody to work the street if we put them all in riot gear. So that's why we depend on our bigger neighbors to help us when they need, or when we need.
I think what might have happened, this is before Captain was with us. It was Captain, or Chief Rodas at the time, and I'm sure a federal grant became available, and he looked at it and he said, well, we can purchase this for pennies on the dollar.
Yeah.
Let's do it, and then we'll see if we can make this work. And it just never came to
And I
fruition.
seem to recall there was some excess budget money as well.
Would have been, but never would have happened without the federal grant money.
Right. But I mean, I think we had budgeted more money
Oh, okay.
for something police-related that we didn't use. And so it was it basically was money that we had already budgeted that was available. That's how I recall that. I mean, it's, can look it up. Doesn't matter. We have the equipment, and I'm glad the city of Toledo can use it. And I'd be, and I would welcome the city of Toledo's mutual aid agreement in the event we ever needed it. Thank you.
And we are using the police academies, whether at Owens or Toledo, in order to train officers that we hire in advance. It used to be that we required them to already have the training. We simply can't do that anymore. We have 2 officers now we've put through the academy. Is that correct, Captain? 3, okay. And they're all on the road now?
They are. They have the option of either going to the State Highway Patrol Academy, which has been funded by the Casino Commission. It's a free academy, or they can opt to go to the Owens Full-Time Academy, but they have to pay for it if they decide to stay local. So. Stop.
Have there been any thoughts of who might get this, or how you might decide who is able to have this, if typically the officers pay for it themselves before coming to work in Sylvania?
This would be if this ordinance passes and we do get those 2 academy positions, it would go to someone that had finished well on our test that we intended to hire, but didn't have the academy already. If they have already got the academy, we're they're already certified. This would be to somebody that's not certified that we could extend it to get them to the academy.
This is a recruiting tool in part, correct?
Or it could be, yeah, for sure.
And we have an arrangement that if we don't just pay for somebody to go through the academy and then they decide they want to go someplace else, they reimburse us if they choose that route.
We've been lucky here that we've had people coming to us. We haven't been experiencing the same thing that other agencies have of lack of recruits. So it's been very nice. Any other questions?
Well, if there's no further questions, you do have in front of you ordinance 75, 2023 to enter into this agreement with the city of Toledo. Mr. Fry.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to introduce ordinance number 75, 2023, and read by title only, as all members of council had received this copy previously. Authorizing the mayor and director of finance to enter into an agreement with the city of Toledo. I move passage of ordinance number 75, 2023 as an emergency measure.
Second.
Been moved and seconded for passage of ordinance number 75, 2023 as an emergency measure. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries, and ordinance 75, 2023 is enacted as an emergency measure. Thank you, Captain.
Thank you.
The chief is away on training this evening. Item 7 also has to do with the letter you have in your council packets from Chief Miller. This is something that the administration has discussed in the past. We have thought about it. We shared it with you in your packets. This is to enter into a flock safety agreement, which is license plate cameras coming and going from the city. Perhaps, Captain, you can give us some idea of this one as well, if you have any background on it. There's a pretty good background right here in the council packets. All we're asking tonight is to refer it to the safety committee for further study. We're not asking for any passage, but the administration has looked at this for more than 6 months. We've watched how it has worked in other communities. It is here in Northwest Ohio, and I think can serve us well.
Mr. Mayor, I don't have the intimate knowledge that the chief has, and I apologize for that. This is her project, so I just have some very, very basic information about it. There are cameras pretty much everywhere in Northwest Ohio, with the exception of Sylvania, that utilize flock cameras. They're not used for any kind of enforcement like speed or red lights. It's nothing like that. They photograph cars coming and going from town. And Toledo has, I want to say, 94 of them. And they are very effective in their crime suppression. Very effective.
If my understanding is that we did have a presentation from Flock to the administration, that if a crime is committed and we know the license plate number, they put it into the computer system and the cameras automatically look for that license plate.
That's correct.
And it is not every community except Sylvania Township. There's quite a few that don't have it. There are some that are into the system. Toledo's into it big time.
Correct.
And their experience has been pretty good. We think this is worth exploring and would like to refer it probably to the safety committee, Mr. Fry, for further study before a decision is made. Mr. Hanem asked some good questions this afternoon of the chief, and
I just wanted to throw those into the mix so that
that's
we've
very
got the
good. And
committee.
cooperation with Sylvania Township is one that we asked in the past. It seems like we need to do that. They're working on it at the same time. This is a lease situation.
Yeah.
They don't sell the equipment, we don't buy it, but we do lease it. And it's not a lot of money. It's,
No, it seems very, I mean, even being a 1984 guy, this was a Big Brother kind of thing.
Yeah.
I got over that pretty quick, though. I think this makes a lot of sense.
I did have an opportunity to talk with the chief and ask, I don't know how many pages of questions were the Mrs. Browning, but a lot of questions, as I'm sure you're all shocked by, because I did have similar concerns
Right.
as you, Mr. Hanem. But I do think it's an interesting thing, and I would like to have us move on this, but we need to move deliberately and make sure that we're all comfortable with it, and that our citizenry understands the purpose of where this is intended to be, so that they don't have the same kind of concerns that where my mind initially went in, it sounds like yours did as well.
Those
Mr. Hanem.
official concerns, I think, a little bit, I did some other reading about this, and and those concerns were quickly dissipated. So I would like us to, and I will, talk to Neil Mahoney about this a little bit, and I think a coordinated effort with the township here would be valuable. I mean, we're we're a small piece in the middle of a larger community, because we clearly are a community with Sylvania Township. And if they don't want to go forward, I would go forward anyway, but it would be interesting to see if we could, I mean, we're working with the township as well now as we ever have, and this would seem to be an opportunity to work.
and it's not just criminals. It's also gonna
Right.
serve that person who's got a memory problem and who disappears. If they're driving their car, this will help find them.
And the Amber Alert thing and all that, I mean, those are life-saving issues. And, they're the kinds of things that I know trustees are as concerned about as we are.
So given that, I was thinking about doing this on the prior to the next council meeting on the 18th. And maybe this is a one-shot meeting, and maybe it takes multiple conversations to come to a conclusion by,
My memory is,
Council
Mark, we're
members.
gonna have a presentation made to us by Flock.
okay. So they may or may not be available on the 18th, is what you're saying, Mayor?
Well, maybe, maybe not, but I
Why don't
know,
we set the meeting, and then if we have to move it, we could move it.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. If we can find out what their availability is, and then we can kind of bounce off that, Mayor. That work?
yes, that's fine with me. I had also penciled in here a possible downtown transportation improvement update, so you can hear where we are in the budget and the utility burial.
For the-
That might be a committee of the whole also that night. It
Okay.
Doesn't have to be that night. I don't know whether Mr. Aller is pushing that date back or not. We had talked about that date. We're waiting for Toledo Edison is what we've been doing.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for some quotes, but I won't be able to wait too long before we'll need to make a decision on how we proceed there. So we may have to present the information that we have available and use that to make a decision on how we move.
I think we can have them both the same night, but it might,
Okay,
I saw the presentation. It was like a half-hour presentation. That's how it works.
So if we schedule it at 6:30, that'll give us an opportunity to have the presentation and discuss it prior to our meeting. Does that sound reasonable?
I think it does. And order legislation, probably. So you-
Okay.
right.
Yeah.
And if Flock can't make it, then
We'll
if the
move it.
company can't make it, then we'll move it.
Yeah.
Fair enough?
Fair enough.
Then are there any council, because this is an important issue, I know it's going to safety, but I want all council members, if at all possible, to be there for this one, because you're gonna get questions from the public about it. Obviously, we're not talking about, lining us, no disrespect, lining the sewer system. This is a significant thing. Sorry, Brian, I didn't mean to look at you that way.
So is lining the sewer system, it's
It's a
just
very
out of
important
sight,
thing.
that's all.
Exactly, that's why I was using that as an example. So, how about, 6:30 on the 18th? Does that work?
So, Mr. Fry, I am not gonna be here on the 18th.
Okay,
I'm not gonna, be in town that day. That being said, I'd be happy to catch up and
Okay.
watch it. I certainly don't wanna derail it, if that works for everybody else.
If it's an official council committee, Chuck, can we record it and allow council members to watch it after the fact?
Yeah, absolutely, or we can stream it.
okay. Then let's schedule, the safety committee for a meeting at 6:30, at the next council meeting on September 18th, prior to our regularly scheduled council meeting.
Is there a second to that motion?
Second.
Been moved and seconded to schedule the safety committee for 6:30 on Monday, September the 18th. All in favor say
In the chambers.
in council chambers here. All in favor of that indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries and the clerk is ordered to post that meeting time.
Captain, if you would, please, because I glanced through the packet, but my multiple pages of questions, if you could distribute those to the members of council along with Mr. Haynem's questions, it may shorten the conversation somewhat, or it may create other questions that roll off of that from members of council, depending on the way they're seeing it. Okay? That would be great. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Are there any committee reports to be made at this time? It's been asked, added agenda item 9A to schedule a finance committee meeting in regard to the budget process. Mr. Fry.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Schreier, I think, obviously, the heavy lifting is being done now by by the staff coming to you, and
It'll start in the next week or so, yes.
so is the 2nd too soon?
The 2nd of October.
Or that the week of the 2nd?
That is too soon. It's not due back to me until that Monday, which is what, the 2nd? I won't even get it back from the department heads till that day.
Okay,
So I'll need 10 days to put it together.
okay.
And in the past, we have not scheduled this on a council night.
Now, I know, I was thinking about doing, I was originally looking at the 6th, now I'm thinking about the 13th.
That would be better, yeah.
Is that okay, Mr. Schreier?
Yes.
Okay,
I'm probably gonna be out of town on the 13th.
I will also be out of town.
okay. How about the 12th?
I'm out of town until the 15th.
Yeah, me too. How about the 20th or the 19th?
Is the 19th too late, Mr. Schreier?
It is not. The 19th would work.
Does the 19th work for everybody?
Are you talking morning or afternoon?
Morning, I was thinking about 8 AM. That work? Then I'll make a motion to set a finance committee meeting for conversation about the 2024 budget on October 19th at starting at 8 AM and do it in the finance conference room on the 2nd floor, which is where we traditionally do that.
Is there a second?
Second.
Been moved and seconded to schedule that finance committee meeting for Thursday, October 19th at 8 AM in the City Finance Committee, or City Finance Office Conference Room. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries, and the clerk is ordered to post that committee meeting as well.
What time did we set that?
8
8.
AM.
8?
AM.
Yeah. My favorite hour.
Hey, I gave you an extra half an hour, Doug. We used to set them at
Thank you.
7:30, but I
And
didn't think
I know.
Okay, that brings us to the end of our agenda for this evening. Are there any other committee referrals to be made at this time? or any other business for consideration? If not, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to adjourn. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries and this council stands adjourned until its next regularly scheduled meeting on Monday, September the 18th at 7:30 PM in these council chambers. Thank you for